Jacob Lash is my favorite character. I guess it makes sense that the character made to embody the ultimate asshole is the one who seems to get nerfed every other patch, regardless of whether or not it's deserved. But despite that, I just can't put him down. Welcome to Deadlock Dive, the start of a series where I go over each and every Deadlock character, what they're about, and why they're in the ritual. So just who is the Lash? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at his backstory and, okay, so maybe saying that all Lash is just an asshole isn't exactly wrong. And in fact, this lore entry is pretty funny, but there's a lot that goes into the Lash and what makes him so great. So let's talk about it. Before we go over his lore, how about that great character design? Lash wears a blue tank top under a thick brown belt with a harness over his shoulders, presumably to keep him hoisted on his cords. He wears a gold pendant around his neck and has tattoos that imply he's worked in a nautical business prior to his time in the bear pit. A slick crew cut with thick eyebrows and
an impossibly dashing mustache.
The Lash always appears to be squinting and has a constant sparkle around his head. He wears a pair of torn jeans that have open knees. His gun, the tail of the tape, is a gauntlet on his right hand with 3 barrels, presumably for the 3 shots that come out in a burst. His left arm is wrapped in a gauze with a knuckle duster with his name on it. On his hip he has his rope, and more of it wrapped in a spool with an anchor through it. Lastly, he has a can of some green substance on his hip, probably in reference to another popular nautical character. As stated earlier, Lash is the champion of the underground fighting arena known as the Bear Pit. In the Bear Pit, Lash has a bitter rivalry with Bebop, who similarly has a reputable match history behind him. In their first exhibition match, Lash was cocky and underestimated Bebop, leading to his first defeat. However, Lash is not an idiot like most think. He's smart, and he earns his reputation as a champion fighter. When he experienced this loss, he took it as a learning experience. After changing the way he fought, he defeated Bebop on the run back, earning back his title of Bear Pit champion. It's not very clear what Lash wants out of the ritual. He tells others that he wants to prove he's the best fighter in New York City. However, he implies through a select screen voice line that he wishes for more, but never elaborates. It's unlikely he needs money. An illegal underground fight gambling ring is sure to pay its fighters well, and given it's what Bebop resorts to be able to afford treatment for Miss Shelley, I think it's safe to say Lash is living comfortably in his wealth. Lash's demeanor as this sort of heel character paints him in the image of a selfish asshole, and while he is, he's not exempt from humility. In one voice line, he stresses the importance to give back to the community.
That's why I'm taking 3% of my winnings and donating them to Lashback, my charity dedicated to children who kinda suck.
While he could have said it nicer, it shows that Lash is nice enough to not just donate to a children's charity, but make one of his own. You know, all this talk about who Lash is great and all, but how does he play? Really fun. Like, oh my god, it's so much fun. I've already mentioned how I love Lash's gameplay, but let's talk about why. Lash has a burst fire primary, shooting this gauntlet on his right hand with a 3-bullet burst. It's honestly kind of a bad primary. Most burst fires tend to be bad, but Lash's is probably the worst of this particularly weak bunch. Which is fine, as his abilities that make him an off-carry spirit nuker carry him up and into the sky. Literally, he uses his cords to hoist himself over a target and into the air. Great for escaping. These cords can also be used to whiplash his opponents, hitting everything in a cone in front of him, while healing him for a portion of that damage. I personally don't invest into this ability early, but a lot of Lashes do, and have success with it. But what do you do once you're in the air? Flog doesn't have that crazy of range, so it's time to channel your inner soundsmith and drop on someone's head. The ground strike is
my bread and butter, baby.
Yes, that. Scaling its damage with how far Lash travels. Yes, how far, not how high. Angling the strike slightly can get you a smidgen more damage out of it. But if you've been patient, eaten your vegetables, and behaved like a good stevedore does, then it's time to ring the bells, blow the horn, and be ready to
pick up and slam them down.
Dude, you gotta stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
But he's right. The Death Slam is the most important part of Lash's kit, and can be the deciding factor for many games. The ability to pick up all enemies, or even just a few from a large area, and throw them all grouped up into any exact spot you want them is really powerful, and can win many a fight. After all, winning is his business.
And business is good.
I think it goes without saying, even though I have already, that I really like the way Lash plays. I mean, he is my main. Owed in big part to the movement mechanics of the Source engine, and the crazy ways you can move around the map. In my time playing other shooters, I similarly like playing characters who move around to get high priority picks, using the Market Gardener in TF2 or tearing shit up as Black Panther in Rivals. At least when I played that game. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I want to continue this series and make more character analysis. So next up will either be the Doorman or 7.